Now at 6, the latest on the investigation into the shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs rally. Plus, Ascension Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh enters into a transfer of ownership with Mercy. And the Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes in Fort Scott honors a jazz legend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Kansas City police say the shooting after the Chiefs Super Bowl rally yesterday is likely connected to a dispute that led to the gunfire. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. One person was killed and 23 injured, many of them children. Charlie DeMar has the latest.
Police say this tackle in the crowd after Wednesday's Super Bowl parade in Kansas City helped detain one of 3 people who may be connected to the shooting, 2 of them juveniles.
Preliminary investigative findings have shown there was no nexus to terrorism or homegrown violent extremism. This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire.
This was the moment rapid gunshots rang out at the gathering of close to 1 million people. Chiefs fans had to duck and run for cover as more than 800 police officers on scene sprang into action.
I immediately told him, get down, that's shots fired.
And there were a bunch of kids, and my sister and I were running, telling them, get down.
Lisa Lopez Galvan, a mother of 2 and popular radio DJ, was killed. More than 20 others were injured, most of them shot, including nearly a dozen children.
And I'd like to give you some good news today that out of all of the children we have treated, we only have 3 left in the hospital, all of which will recover from the injuries they had yesterday.
Thursday, police thanked the men responsible for the post-parade tackle, including Trey Filter, who was there with his family.
There's a huge commotion. People are yelling, get him. I reacted without thinking.
Police say they have recovered several firearms, and their investigation continues. Charlie DeMar, CBS News, Kansas City, Missouri.
Authorities have released 1 adult who they've determined was not involved in the shooting. 2 juveniles remain in custody. The Gun Violence Archives reports there have been 49 mass shootings in the U.S. since the start of 2024. That's an average of more than 1 per day. By definition, mass shootings have 4 or more gunshot victims, not including the shooter. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney now for a first look at the weather.
Today we are back on track to having a normal average winter with our highs just 5 degrees above the average, and our low tonight was 10 degrees above, so a little bit higher than average. Continuing into today, we don't see any rain coming in just yet. We do have some clouds in the area, and we are tracking the system that's moving in tomorrow morning just north of Denver, making its way into our area in the early hours on Friday, causing us to have maybe a bit of snow mixed in with that rain starting in the morning. Cooler Saturday and a sunny weekend ahead. We do see those temperatures drop and wind chill values get down to the single digits again. But I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
See you soon. Ascension plans to transfer ownership of the Via Christi Hospital in Pittsburgh to Mercy. A statement released by Mercy says Ascension and Mercy have entered into an ownership agreement. KOAM's Anthony Saviello spoke with Pittsburgh city officials and residents to get their take on the agreement.
With terms in place, Via Christi will soon be under new management. But is this really the best move for the city of Pittsburgh? According to City Manager Darren Hall, this transition is a positive step forward.
I think it's an exciting time. I have a lot of faith in Mercy. I appreciate what Ascension Via Christi's done over the years, and it does look like a growth opportunity to some extent.
For residents who utilize Mercy services, this could now make it easier for them to receive the health care they need.
My doctor wasn't allowed to work at Via Christi before, and now she will be because she's a Mercy doctor.
Ascension has strong bonds with the Pittsburgh State Nursing Program. In a statement released by Director Cheryl Geifer, she said, in part, Mercy Hospital and Ascension Via Christi Hospital have each supported Pittsburgh State University and its nursing students for the past 53 years, and we anticipate continuing our strong, positive partnerships during this transition and into the future.
Pitt State's obviously been a great partner over the years, and they will continue to be, and those nurses are just critical because they're the pipeline of staff that take care of everybody, and a lot of them do stay here. So I think it'll continue, and yeah, hopefully for them it'll be just more opportunities as well.
Ascension also issued a statement saying, in part, as a regional provider, Mercy is well positioned to carry on this legacy, serving the community through an integrated care delivery system. Now, the exact future of this facility and the health care that it will be able to provide to the city of Pittsburgh is unknown. But City Manager Hall and Pittsburgh residents seem confident that this transition will be positive and that it will make health care in the area more accessible.
I have no idea about the growth. I think it's positive for the city, though.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
You can read today's complete statement from Mercy at KOAMnewsnow.com. A rescue organization says it's shut down an animal testing lab in Nowata, Oklahoma. They claim the efforts of the group Beagle Freedom Project closed the doors on a laboratory that conducted testing for the flea and tick industry and saved the lives of more than 200 animals used for testing and breeding. The group has now taken over the 30-acre Nowata, Oklahoma property and facilities where animals were previously held and plans to transform the space into Freedom Fields, a rescue, rehabilitation, and adoption center. We're going to have more for you on this story tonight on KOAM News at 10. The Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes in Fort Scott, Kansas explored the impact of late 1800s Kansas on jazz. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
Silver threads among the gold.
Lim Shepard, renowned musician and historian, was the guest speaker showcasing how old-timey Kansas had an impact on jazz.
Thinking I was going to find maybe 10 or 15 things to say, but I found a way to search the newspapers, and because quite a bit of it was written in newspapers. I was surprised to see how much was written in newspapers and then how many newspapers there were.
This presentation was about jazz musician James Reese Europe, the latest figure recognized by the nonprofit Lowell Milken Center for Unsung Heroes in Fort Scott. Shepard played jazz, ragtime, and blues, making sure to let the audience know that this is a part of American history.
I relate it to people's hometown because I want to get them thinking, oh yeah, we've heard of Potter's Grove, or oh yeah, there used to be an opera house here. And so let them know that that place on the corner there, that historic railroad depot, was a place that popular black musicians.
And to keep the music going, Fort Scott High School jazz band played during the cakewalk.
It feels like in my little corner in Kansas that we're the only jazz band, but it's like, no, there's like hundreds, if not thousands.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
That presentation was funded by a Humanities Kansas grant. Later in sports, a big signing day in Columbus. John's going to have details on the student athletes making the move to the next level. But first, helping our children deal with traumatic news and images.
March 16, 2024.
Yesterday's shooting at the Kansas City Chiefs rally has a lot of people feeling everything from sadness to anger to fear. Even for those who didn't attend the event, a lot of people, including children, have been watching the events on television and wondering, what now? Marina Silva looks at the potential emotional impact.
It could have been us. It could have been one of my kids.
Francisca Rodriguez lives in Springfield. She's one of many who made the trek to the parade yesterday with her family.
This is something to celebrate.
Rodriguez says they left the parade before the chaos, but isn't sure she'd do it again.
It was definitely nerve-wracking to where, if we win the Super Bowl in the future, it's like, do we take them? Do we, our safety, do we celebrate as well?
Amy Hill is with Burrell Health. She says whether you are at the parade or watching at home, it's important to talk to your kids.
So it's always important to just go ahead and communicate with kids. Ask them how they're feeling, give them the opportunity to talk about it. And we certainly want to make sure that we're dispelling any rumors.
For an adult who is witnessing what is going on, she says, it's okay to not be okay.
If you're just experiencing some feelings of anxiousness, maybe some struggles of having some thoughts at nighttime, but you can still get to sleep, maybe even feeling more irritable than normal or more sad, tearful than normal. Some of those things are okay. Those are normal things that all of us are going to experience after a really sad event like this.
If you or your kids have concerns about future events with crowds,
there are ways to be safe. There are safe crowds. There are people that we can be around and not feel like we're at risk at all times.
Remember, if you need help or maybe just someone to speak with, don't wait for an appointment. Help is only 3 numbers away. 988. That's the National Crisis Helpline, and people are there to talk 24 hours a day. 988. A little bit later, high school basketball gets ready for the playoffs. Don has a preview of CJ versus Ozark coming up in sports.
And up next, we'll talk about the winter system that we have moving in tomorrow morning.
Driving a new Honda Arts.
We had a cloudy start to our Thursday, but it's shaping up to be a really nice looking evening right before that rain and snow mix comes in tomorrow. Taking a look outside at our downtown Joplin Cornell Complex camera, you can see a few clouds in the area, but it is a really beautiful evening, still chilly as we move into the evening hours. The system that we're tracking is northeast of Denver now, making its way into our area early tomorrow morning. Showers start coming in around 1 a.m. and we're going to track that in just a minute. Clouds roll in by midnight, temperatures start to drop, and they're going to continue to drop as we move into tomorrow afternoon. We're in for a very chilly weekend. The wind gusts start to pick up. Tomorrow early, we'll see winds shift from the south coming out of the north pretty quickly. As we continue on, we're going to see them gust up to 35 miles per hour as that system moves through, and then they will start to lighten up as we continue through the evening. Tomorrow, showers to begin with. Like I said, temperatures starting high at 8 a.m. will be 45 degrees, and then they'll continue to drop as we move through the day, with our low being in the 30s by noon. Then we start to see that those showers shift to a winter mix with some snow moving in, and we'll take a look at that here in just a second. Clouds roll in, and we do see some showers start to pop up early Friday morning around 2, 3, 4 a.m. We'll see them continue off to the east, and then by 8 a.m. we see the snow band start to move in. Just a light band of snow, and we'll continue on. As it makes its way to our southern counties, it will shift from just snow to a rain-snow mix just east of Joplin, and then we'll continue on. Light snow continues through 1 p.m. and then by 4 p.m. we're starting to see it completely move off to the east, and it will be very light. We're not getting much accumulation with this snow system like we did a few days ago. And temperatures do continue to drop as we move into the evening hours, with our Friday low being in the low 20s. And let's take a look and see that snow tracker. Like I said, 1/10 of an inch across northern counties and eastern counties as we see that snow make its way, just clipping us on our northeastern counties. And we'll continue in. These wind chills by Saturday morning are going to get down to the single digits. So not only are we getting a little bit of snow and some fast wind gusts, we're also getting very, very cold wind chills yet again. We'll continue on, and it will start to warm back up as we move into Sunday. Taking a look at the rest of the week, we'll see sun comes back out Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures warm back up by early next week. Tuesday getting to 67, Wednesday getting to 73, just in time for some morning showers on Thursday to drop those temperatures a bit. Again, just next weekend, but not as bad as what we saw, right?
No, I guess not. We are getting a brief reminder that it is still winter, but it's not going to be bitterly, bitterly cold anyway.
Not like that Arctic blast we had a few weeks ago. That was difficult.
For sure, Lindsay, thanks. Hey, still ahead, Missouri Southern baseball jumps several spots in this week's top 25, and 6 Columbus Titans signed to become collegiate athletes. John Dales has those stories and more. It's coming up next in sports.
Feels good to be funeral homes.
This morning, Columbus High School hosts an all-female signing day. 6 different Lady Titans across 4 different sports take the next step towards becoming collegiate athletes by signing their letters of intent. Friends and family gather at Columbus today as Katie Simpson, Taryn Billings, and Gracie Major Signed to play softball in college. Meanwhile, Grace Knoll is headed to Baker University for wrestling. Lizzie Welch is a power lifter heading to Coffeyville Community College. Then Brooklyn Lima goes to Barton County for cheer.
I decided to go to Crowder because it just felt like family when I got there for my visit, and then I went to a camp, and just being with the girls for a day just kind of sold it, and it was like I knew I wanted to be there for the next 2 years.
Felt such good connections with the coach and the teammates when I went on a visit, and all the other visits I just didn't have that warm fuzzy feeling, I guess.
I went on several visits, and Seminole was just like their whole entire fields, like their school is just all around amazing, and their atmosphere.
I just fell in love with all the coaches there as soon as I stepped on the campus. Everyone there has a light and an energy about them I've never seen in a campus before, and I just knew that was my spot.
I feel like it'll be kind of a family, and I know that they have 15 girls on the team, but I think I can make a big difference for them.
In college, they do competitive cheer, and I've never done that, so I'm excited to go up to that next level to actually compete.
Well, we're coming down the stretch of the high school basketball season in the 4 states. Oklahoma begins its playoffs this weekend. Kansas and Missouri schools have less than a handful of regular season contests remaining. Tonight, Carl Junction basketball has its homecoming game. The Bulldogs host COC foe Ozark. There's a coronation for the homecoming court in between the boys and girls games. Both Bulldogs teams beat Neosho last time out. We'll have the highlights from CJ tonight on KOAM News at 10. College baseball season still in its infancy. Missouri Southern has hit the ground running. The Lions are off to a 7-2 start to 2024. Now the Lions opened the season as the number 23 team in the nation in the media poll. In this week's top 25, Southern jumps from 23 to 14. This weekend, it hosts the Missouri Southern Lion Classic, beginning on Friday against Minnesota State Mankato, who knocked Southern out of the playoffs last spring. Now, Southern is not the only MIAA team represented in the top 25. Central Missouri, who the Lions won't see until their final 3 regular season games in late April, well, they're ranked number 4. Central Oklahoma, another team who won't play MSSU until April, is 20th. The Broncos are off to a 9-0 start to their season. That's a look at sports. We're going to be back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A Joplin man talks about his experience during the chaos of that Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. Plus, how a safe haven box in Missouri is offering at-risk mothers an alternative for difficult decisions. And we're going to learn about an app offering some discounted prices at the grocery store. Those stories, a lot more, of course, it's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. You might as well do it right now. You see the QR code. It's available free of charge. It's in the Apple App Store, also Google Play Store. All you have to do is search for KOAM News app or use that code. The weather's going to be kind of dank and dreary and chilly in the next couple of days.
Yes, we do see another little band of snow coming in tomorrow morning. Shouldn't last long, just the morning hours, clearing by the afternoon and possibly getting some sunshine Friday, leading into having 5 days of sunshine and temperatures warming back up. Thank goodness.
We will have earned it by then.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Closed captioning